Hey guys, Donnie RightSide here. Bookmakers Review. We are in the midst of college bowl season and getting down to the big boy games, as we like to call it. We're going to take a look at the Cheez-It Bowl. The Oklahoma Sooners, 6-6 on the season. The Florida State Seminoles, 9-3 on the season. This game will be played Thursday, December 29th, 5:30 p.m. If we set the table for this one here, how about this? A total that opened up at 60.5 points has now risen to 65.5. A line for Florida State that opened up at 7.5 has now gone to 9.5. So lines moving in directions here. People betting the over and people betting the favorite. No real surprise in that market. But let's take a look at these two teams, the Sooners and the Seminoles here. Two quarterbacks coming into this game, ultra talented. One, Dillon Gabriel, 2,900 passing yards on the season. Jordan Travis, 2,800 passing yards on the season for Florida State. Dillon Gabriel for OU, 24 touchdown passes. Jordan Travis, 22 touchdown passes. Now, if we take a look at the running back situation here, how about Gray? 1,366 yards on the ground and 11 touchdowns for the Oklahoma Sooners. If we take a look at Benson for the Florida State Seminoles, 141 carries, so less carries than Gray. But how about this? 965 yards on the season and 9 total touchdowns. If we take a look at the wide receiver position, you got a big-time one. Marvin Mims Jr. here for the Sooners. 52 receptions on the year, 1,006 yards, and 6 touchdowns. If we take a look at the two teams side by side, they both get after it. Points per game on the season, 33 points for OU, 36 points for the Florida State Seminoles. Points allowed, this is where you're going to differentiate here. OU, close to 30 points allowed on the season. And if we take a look at Florida State, under 20 points total per season. Now, granted, one team played in the ACC, which again, decent football conference. One team played in the Big 12, where it's just an aerial assault all over the place. Both of these offenses, though, fairly similar in the yards gained per game department. 472 yards per game here for the Sooners, 475 for the Florida State Seminoles. But as we said, the Florida State Seminoles giving up roughly 10 points less per game on defense, but also take a look at the yardage here. Oklahoma gave up 450 yards per game this season. If you take a look at Florida State, 307 yards per season. How did these two ball clubs come into this game? Well, as we stated on the opening here, the Oklahoma Sooners here, 6-6 on the season, 500. Very unlike the Oklahoma Sooners under Lincoln Riley. Take a look at Florida State here, Mike Norvell, maybe returning back to the old glory days of Bobby Bowden, the early days of Jimbo Fisher, 9-3, hoping for a 10-win season this year, and also coming in ranked in the top 15. But look at the last 5 games coming down the stretch. Losers of 3 of 4, that's Oklahoma. Baylor, 38-35, close loss. West Virginia, 23-20, close loss. Beat Oklahoma State in Bedlam, 28-13, and then with Texas Tech in overtime, lost 51-48. Looking at the Seminoles here, rip running and playing really good football coming down the stretch. If you take a look at the last few games they played, actually coming in on a 5-game win streak, beating Georgia Tech, Miami, Syracuse, Louisiana, and Florida. Now, having said that, not very good football teams. Oh, Donnie, but they beat Miami. Miami stunk this year out here. Georgia Tech, terrible football team. Syracuse, come on now. I mean, give it a break. Louisiana, Group of 5 team, and then Florida. You saw how motivated they were by the end of the season, getting blasted in their bowl game by Oregon State. So with the movement here, 7.5 to 9.5, I don't agree with that here. Now, the 60.5 to 65 is the total. I do agree with that movement overall there. I do think we get points. But for my money, I'm going to sit back here in the bowl game, and I'm going to take Oklahoma getting close to 10 points. I'll sit on that 9.5. I do expect there to be yards in this game and scoring, but I feel confident here. If we're taking a look at OU heading down the stretch, not the results they wanted, but playing tough in just about each and every game, I think they'll do the same thing here in the Cheez-It Bowl and cover against the Florida State Seminoles. Let's go that route. Bowl season is here, and so is BMR. I'm Donnie RightSide for Bookmakers Review, and as always, good luck on those wagers.